Welcome to AC 24/7's Top Story Countdown. I'm Sonia Baghdadi. Right now, I'm here to guide you through the biggest stories of the day. Here's our pick for number 4.
24-hour convenience stores, fresh seafood, same-day deliveries. In the world's 4th largest economy, convenience reigns king. But starting April 1st, this way of life many Japanese are used to threatens to be upended, because truck drivers in Japan will finally get a cap on overtime.
Truckers have been supporting Japan's economy for a very long time. So when the cap is implemented, it'll certainly mean all goods won't be delivered. That's what I'm most worried about.
Truckers, the lifeline of Japan's economy, deliver 90% of Japan's cargo. But the hours, long and punishing, have at times been fatal, with dozens dying from overwork each year. The government cap from April, which limits overtime hours to 80 a month for truckers, is a welcomed change. But for the trucking industry, it means fewer drivers and smaller wages.
I think the biggest concern is the salary. Even if I get to spend more time with my children, if my salary drops, it will make life difficult for us.
Once the cap is implemented, the government fears that some goods won't be delivered on time or ever transported. Without intervention, Japan could see a 14.2% decrease in delivery capacity this year, or a 34.1% drop by 2030, leading to economic losses of up to $67 billion that year alone. The 2024 problem, compounded by a shrinking population and an aging workforce, as the trucking industry loses over 15,000 drivers annually.
I think that many people are concerned about the decrease in the supply of services, but if it's a difficult work environment, fewer and fewer people will want to work. So I believe that creating a workplace that is easy to work in is the key to attracting people to the industry.
Japan's trucking industry, poised to change drastically, but Japan's reliance on truckers, the heart of the country's supply chain, steadfast.
The Advocate Channel looks at the world through the lens of equality, community, hope, and inclusion. AC 24/7's Top Story Countdown continues with our producer's pick for number 3.
At last count, 20 GOP lawmakers in the House of Representatives, including 5 committee chairs, have decided to not seek re-election. While some cite personal reasons or are seeking higher office, others blame dysfunction on Capitol Hill. Congressman Ken Buck of Colorado, a hardline conservative who has clashed with his own party, is one of the members who has announced that he will not seek re-election.
I have been here 9 years, and Congress refuses to deal with the big issues that we need to deal with. We really need to work on issues. There's no incentive structure here to do that.
Some of those leaving Congress are currently in high-ranking positions, including Energy and Commerce Chair Kathy McMorris Rodgers of Washington State, who is the first woman to serve in that position, and China Select Committee Chair Mike Gallagher of Wisconsin, a 39-year-old who announced he would not seek re-election after facing intense blowback for voting against impeaching Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. In a statement, Gallagher explained his decision, saying, quote, "Electoral politics was never supposed to be a career, and trust me, Congress is no place to grow old." Then there's Patrick McHenry of North Carolina. He serves as chairman of the Financial Services Committee and is seen as a deal maker on Capitol Hill. As these high-profile members are stepping away, there is growing anxiety about the House GOP's chances of holding on to the majority in November. Republicans just lost a seat in a special election in New York. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
The Advocate Channel is now streaming live on Amazon Prime in the News app. Watch us there or go to advocatechannel.com. AC 24/7 continues with today's top 2 pick.
She's a weapon for Democrats.
These extremists are trying to take us backward. Well, we're not having that.
And weaponized by Republicans.
We will have a female president of the United States. The hard truth, it's either going to be me or Kamala Harris.
Vice President Kamala Harris is at the red-hot center of the 2024 campaign, firing up the party's base and taking fire from rivals who argue a vote for President Biden may as well be a vote for a President Harris. While vice presidents are always a heartbeat away from the presidency, Harris's burden is even higher, as whispers of concern over Biden's age have dramatically escalated. As she steps up her travel across the country, Harris often starts with an urgent plea to protect abortion rights.
Let us be very clear about who is responsible. Former President Trump handpicked 3 Supreme Court justices because he intended for them to overturn Roe.
Today in Pittsburgh, Harris announced $5.8 billion in clean water investments, replacing lead pipes and more, as part of the bipartisan infrastructure law Biden signed in 2021.
Clean water. Can you believe that in the United States of America, that is still not necessarily guaranteed to all people?
Her biggest assignment is trying to win over skeptical young voters, Black and Latino supporters, and those protesting the administration's policy toward Israel. All part of rebuilding Biden's fraying coalition.
We're just so tired of being told that it's our job to prevent a Trump presidency.
Tanisha Long welcomes the vice president's greater visibility and the investment in clean water, but said voters want to hear more about their second-term plans.
The only messaging we're receiving is, if you don't vote for Biden, you're voting for Trump. And what a lot of younger voters want, and a lot of voters of color, is we want people to earn our votes.
Harris has often been a punchline during her 3 years as vice president.
I went off script a little bit.
But allies now believe she could be a critical lifeline for a re-election bid facing steep challenges, a second impression she's trying to make by taking on Donald Trump.
Former President Trump has made clear time and time again, his fight is not for the people. He fights for himself.
The Advocate Channel is your news source for news, entertainment, and trending stories. We're highlighting the advocates in our community. We've now arrived at our #1 story of the day. Take a look.
We simply don't know who has the rights here.
The controversial ruling by Alabama's Supreme Court could potentially block access to in vitro fertilization treatments for many across the state.
We are concerned if the physicians, the healthcare providers will be able to continue their care. People should be concerned about their future ability to get IVF treatment.
The decision comes after 3 couples sued a medical provider when their embryos were accidentally destroyed and overrules a lower court that said the embryos were not children. Now, frozen embryos are entitled to the same legal protections as a child under Alabama law. The CEO and president of Resolve, a national infertility association, says that designation has widespread ramifications.
Now the court is saying that that's a person. Can we freeze embryos? I don't know. Can you freeze a person? What will happen to all of those embryos?
After the 8-1 vote, the lone dissenting associate justice said the decision almost certainly ends the creation of frozen embryos through in vitro fertilization in Alabama.
We might see this spread into other states as well.
In defending the ruling, another associate justice said the people of Alabama require the court to treat every human being in accordance with the fear of a holy God. Caught in between are the IVF patients.
Those embryos are the rights of the people who created them. They may decide to donate them to someone else. They may decide to donate them to medical science. They may keep them frozen, but they are their choice to do.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
That's today's countdown. Download the Advocate Channel app on your phone or smart TV. We're also one of Fire TV's newest free live news channels. There's more news and entertainment coming up after the break.